Hey y'all, it's Dave here. All right, well, it's time for my first real video on the channel, and I figured we would start it out with a stash video. I already have a decent stash built up here of puzzles that I have acquired. um, some just very recently, others, I've had for a while. So, wanted to, walk you through my stash, show you what I'll be working with. Ones that I have that I can use for practicing my speed puzzling. I've got plenty of 500 piece puzzles there. Kind of show you my work area a little bit, how I intend to do this, and just let you get acquainted with the channel, and you get a little acquainted with me as well. I have tell you some things about myself while I'm going through and everything, and we'll get it all just get to know each other a little bit better. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and switch my camera to an overhead view looking down here at my desk, and then we will begin with the stash. I'll see you in a second. Okay, well, here we are. This is going to be my workspace. It's just a piece of foam board, 36 tall by 48 wide, trifold piece of foam board. Picked it up at Michael's for a few bucks. Um, and it's sitting on top of two desks that are sitting side by side. um, that's the only way I could puzzle in a small apartment. I guess that's the best way to put it. What I have done is I have used blue tape to mark off because I've been doing some research on speed puzzling and on competitive speed puzzling and on the U.S. Nationals and the Worlds. And they do have listed the size of the area that you will have to work in, which is what I've marked off in the blue tape. So that way, when I'm practicing, training, I can get used to working in just that area. Um, so that's what I've done there. And now it's time to go through my stash. I've been building up puzzles. I've had some I bought some time ago and just never had a chance to work on. I probably will not be able to work on this one. Well, maybe I can, but I don't know. From what I've been able to measure out, this piece of foam board is big enough for maybe a 2,000 piece puzzle, and my biggest one I have right now is a 5,000 piece. So I don't even know if I could build it half and half. I would, and on top of that, it was used. One bag has never been opened, but the other bag has. So I suppose I could start with the unopened bag and then build the other half after I'm done. So um, I was sitting here trying to figure out how in the world would I separate them out and only build half of it, and knowing I have the right pieces for half. But I just answered my own question. All right, so we're going to start out first. Some of these are new. Um, these here are some ones I just picked up in the past couple days. They're all food. I've got the Doritos 500 piece puzzle with all the different Dorito packages on. This one is brand new. Here's a bigger image of what's inside. Let me move this mic a little bit. There we go. And that's pretty cool. I thought that would be a fun puzzle. It is a 500 piece, so I can use it for practicing speed puzzling. Um, because that's what are done at the nationals and the worlds for individuals are 500 piece puzzles. Um, really nice pieces. They're thin. It's not a high dollar. I bought it at Five Below. In fact, I bought all three of these at Five Below. Um, it's not a high quality puzzle, but it'll work for practicing with. And being it's 500 piece, it works in good for speed puzzling. And most of these most likely will get given away to somebody that wants them around here locally, or they'll go to a puzzle swap, or they will end up at Goodwill. And you got the Cheetos. And see, I picked that one up, the Doritos one, because um, the different colors. So I can learn separating by colors and get used to doing that. And kind of collage type thing. This one here is just to looks like it'd actually be kind of difficult for speed puzzling. There's a a lot of yellow there, but you do have all the little repetitive, but it's a lot of repetitive color with Chester there. I think that's actually really, really cool. And again, it's another 500 piece. And it was brand new, but it did not come with the poster inside. And then the Cheez-Its. Another collage type with different colors so that I can start separating by colors in the collage. I gotta learn how to open boxes too. I've already opened them myself. No, this one has not been opened yet. Awesome. All right. Now, same company, does not have the poster. A lot of puzzle dust in there. Oh, wow. Lots of puzzle dust in that one. Maybe you can see it on camera, maybe not. I don't know. But wow. Yeah, there it is. Oh, look at all that puzzle dust. I'm having a hard time deciding what's my next one I actually want to do. Um, no clue yet. Another 500 piece. Now, these are all actually made by Rose Art. There they are. Another 500 pieces. The Peanuts. Oh, haven't even opened that one yet either. There, you figure I'd have all this prepared before I started, but no, I don't. So a little bit about me. I grew up with the Peanuts. I had all these. In fact, I still have them. They're antique books now, but they're a set of Peanuts books, and each one, once you get to the end of the first one, it hits about the halfway point of the book and it ends. But then you have to flip the book over upside down the other way, and then there's another whole book on the other side, coming from the back cover to the front. And I had those whole set of books. I don't know how many times I read the comics over and over and over again. But yeah, these are another Rose Art Peanuts. This one ought to be a kind of a challenge. Lots of different things that I can separate by their sky, reds. So a lot of these are just good speed puzzling practice. Then I have these here I got at Goodwill or the local thrift store. Um, this one is a Reflections. You see it's iridescent. At least the box is. And it has already been opened and done at least once. But these are so pretty. I love these pieces. They are all iridescent, just like the cover of the box is. You can, maybe the camera will get it. There it is. So yeah, they're all iridescent, just like the cover is. So this ought to be a really interesting one to put together. It is a 750 piece. So it's more for just casual puzzling, and I'm just would I want to see it put together. It's a really nice picture. Um it's a Masterpieces brand, and I'm trying to see if I can see who the artist is. Dominic Davison. I know Dominic Davison's work. If any of you are into diamond painting, I do have another channel. It's called Diamond Paint with Diamond Dave. I'll link that in the description below, as a matter of fact. And I'm into diamond painting, and I actually have, I think, at least one Dominic Davidson diamond painting from Diamond Art Club. So yeah, that one's it's kind of nice having a crossover artists. That's one thing I have noticed about puzzling is there's some crossover artists there. My next one was brand new in the box. I actually cut it to open it when I got it. I got it at the local America's thrift store here in town. I live in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, by the way, home of the Alabama Crimson Tide, University of Alabama, Roll Tide. So I go to the local thrift store and they've got tons of puzzles in there. And this one was a Seco 1,000-piece Dogwood Chapel painting by Thomas Kincaid. And like I said, it was sealed. This was still sealed around here when I got it. It was brand new in the box. Um, they had somebody just donated it to Goodwill without ever putting it together. It's still in its original bag, sealed. So a lot of puzzle dust in that one as well. So that one will be fun to put together. Again, it's not, that's more of a casual build puzzle because I just want to build. So this one I picked up at the America's Best Thrift Stores. It is a Seco 500 piece. Just a cute picture of dogs and cats and horses and birds on the farm. It's called Making Friends. Um, this one was already open when I got it. It had been taped shut with clear tape. None of these have any markings on them that they're missing pieces. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But it is, somebody did bag it in a Ziploc bag. So that tells me that it was somebody who cared about the puzzles and more than likely did not lose any pieces. I hope. I've never really checked out the Seco pieces. They're thin, but they're kind of like the rose art. Okay. And it did come with the poster. This one ought to be a lot of fun, and it'll be good practice for a more difficult speed puzzle. This one is the Signature Collection Welcome to Heaven Series 2 from Masterpieces. Picked it up at America's Best Thrift Shop, or America's Thrift Store. And it's Masterpieces. Uh, Alan Guyana is the artist. It was also into the, it was open and it was in the thing. Oh, there's a picture of Alan Guyana. Cool. Get to know the artist too. I'll agree with that. 500 piece. This ought to be a really, really good practice for speed puzzling. Not exactly sure how I would sort that. The edges first, at least, and then the sky. I'd sort out the sky and do the sky. And then maybe do the maroons, the maroon colors. Um, Maybe do the pinks, reds next. The blues right there next. See, it's hard to see because I've got the camera down there so high. But yeah, I think it would be easily sortable. Just all those greens would really, they're going to give you a hard time. Another one from America's Thrift Stores. This one is the Masterpieces Roadsides of the Southwest Gallos Blancos. I guess that's the name of the painting. I don't know. The artist was Stephen Morath. And there's a picture of Mr. Morath right there on the back. Says bonus poster included. I don't know if the bonus poster's in there. I have only just cut the seal, so I'm seeing the inside at the same time you are. Yes, the bonus poster is inside. Oh, it's a big, big poster too. Oh, and that's got the whole series from on there. Okay. I like that one. Lots of color. I'm into lots and lots of color. I like bright, primary, colors. Um, is what I like. I don't like that Thomas Kincaid. I love Thomas Kincaid's artwork. Don't get me wrong. I think Thomas Kincaid is an amazing artist, and I love his artwork, especially the way he can really portray light. But they all seem to be kind of not colorful. The colors are muted. I like bright, colorful pictures. And that is a very nice, bright, and colorful picture. And yet again, it is 500 pieces, so it is good for practicing speed puzzling with. Now, those of you that do speed puzzle or have speed puzzled, can you tell me if that would actually be good practice? I mean, I know that the big competitions mostly use Ravensburger puzzles. Um, I guess before you actually go to a competition, you want to practice just with Ravensburger. But for working on getting your speed up and your sorting and your flipping and stuff like that, would those other puzzles be good for that? And just for practicing building your speed and building time and stuff like that. So maybe you can tell me. I don't know. I've never tried it. In fact, I think my next video will be me actually trying my first attempt at a timed speed puzzle to see how I do. This one here is the Masterpieces Stone Mill Vineyards Country Escapes puzzle. 500 pieces. This one looked like, I don't know if oh, it's a linen puzzle. Okay. And no, it is still in the original package. Now, the package did open. Looks like it's torn there a little bit, but it's not fully torn. But this says this is a linen puzzle, but it doesn't feel like linen. I don't know. It doesn't feel like linen. It looks like a regular puzzle piece to me. I got to remember this mic is directional. It looks just like a regular puzzle piece to me. It doesn't look like linen. It doesn't feel like linen. But it does say up here in the corner, uh, linen puzzle. Linen. I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me. Is only part of it supposed to be linen? I don't know. But it does not feel like linen. It's just cardboard with printing on it. I don't know. We'll figure that out. So what we'll do here is I want you to do me a favor. I want you to leave me a comment down below when I get all done with these. Which puzzle would you like to see me start on next? As far as which one would you like to see me use as my first attempt at speed puzzling? And then on top of that, what's out of all of these, what's the next casual puzzle you would like to see me put together? This one I picked up at Ollie's. Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Love Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Man, you can always find good stuff in there. This one is a Gallison. Yeah, that's the name, Gallison. And it's called Button Up America. And it is a whole bunch of campaign buttons from the Obama's first candidacy, his first campaign in 08, all the way back to Kennedy, Nixon, Reagan, and some of the people that actually ran back then that I guess never were remembered. There's oh no, they got a Trump one in there too. Huh, okay. I guess it does say, unless that's an old, because Reagan did run under the slogan, "Let's make America great again," way back when, right there. And the blue one, my thumb is on. So, but there is another "Make America Great Again" one right there. But I don't see one from Obama's second candidacy. Oh no, there's a Joe Biden one there, but that's a younger picture of Joe Biden. There's a 2012 Obama. So maybe that is, I don't know. No way to tell, but it's really cool. It's just a bunch of campaign buttons from presidential elections. I think it just looks pretty neat. I love the Snoopy for President one there at the bottom. This is another one from Ollie's. On premium quality blue board. It's an MB Big Ben Deluxe. And you really can't see the whole picture. It doesn't have the whole picture on the box. I guess, no, it's not even on the side. But it's beautiful packaging. I love that gold foil look on the packaging. The camera doesn't really pick it up real well, but all of the writing there is in gold foil. Um, it's a beautiful puzzle. It ought to be a lot of fun. Another 500 piece again for speed puzzling. Um, there is the entire picture. That ought to be a very challenging one for speed puzzling. I like to challenge myself. Like, the only way I'm going to get good and the only way I'm going to get fast is challenging myself. I've discovered that. The pieces are actually pretty decent. They are blue backed like Ravensburger are, but they're bigger pieces and they're not as thick. But I'm sure any of you that have done, a Milton Bradley MB puzzle know that, they're not going to be as good quality. But there was only $4.99 at Ollie's. All of their puzzles were only $4.99. They did have a Ravensburger, one of the Ravensburger escape puzzles. It had 600 and some pieces, I think. And no, 367 pieces, something like that. And I almost bought it. It was $4.99 as well. This one came from Hobby Lobby. It is the Noah's Ark scene. 500 piece. Again, it's a masterpieces. It is brand new. Just bought it yesterday. Does come with the poster. There is the poster to see. That ought to be a very good, challenging puzzle for speed puzzling. And who is that artist? I want to see who that artist is. William Hallmark. William Clayton Hallmark. All right. So cool. Yep, another 500 piece for speed puzzle practice. And here is yet another 500 piece. Now, I think this one actually will be really easy for speed puzzling. It's 500 piece Cosmic Lights by Gallison. And I think that is just an absolutely beautiful picture. And I think that will be very, very easy to sort by colors. And there's the poster, same size as the box, actually smaller than the picture on the box top. And this one, this one came, this one came from Five Below. It's the SpongeBob painting. Oh, come on now. Focus, camera, focus. There we go. It is a Aquarius puzzle. They're smaller pieces than the Gallisons and the MBs and the masterpieces. They're more of your standard puzzle cut. No poster. And that's it. But it is a 500 piece. I think this one ought to be kind of easy. Now, I don't know if the frame of the painting is actually part of the puzzle. I could probably tell you in a second if I can just see an edge piece here. Yes, it is. Yes, there's one of the edge pieces. There's one of the frame edges. Okay, so okay, the edges are going to be really hard to do in this one, but the picture itself ought to be really easy to sort by colors. You got your greenish color there with the like a teal and a blue and a lighter blue and a lighter blue there. Your black for the hat and the eye patch. The green on the parrot, and then the orange coat, the white, and then the skin tone and the beard. That'll be really, really easy to speed puzzle, I think. And then I got these two as a set. I think there's a third one in the set. I'm not sure. But they are NASA branded foil puzzles. 500 pieces each. One's the Crab Nebula, one's the Carina Nebula. This one is going to be difficult. This one, yeah, probably will be as well. They don't look like they're going to be easy in any way, but this one is really going to be difficult. They are RMS brand puzzles. Yeah, RMS. Never heard of them. I guess I'm kind of newish to puzzling, but they look comparable to the masterpieces. And there's your little poster. That is going to be difficult. But they are nice foil puzzles, though. I mean, look at that gold foil shining on there. Can't really. There it is. It is super reflective, like gold chrome. Um, Very nice. And it did come with a little sticker sheet of. I'm a space nerd, y'all. By the way, I am a space nerd. Um, I was in the Navy. I worked on F-14s. I was an avionics tech. Um, and my childhood aspirations growing up, all the way up until I joined the Navy, was to eventually become a pilot and an astronaut. But that kind of fell through due to ADHD in high school. And back then there was no, because I'm 52, back then there was no real medication for ADHD besides Ritalin, and my mom was not going to put me on Ritalin. So I went through my entire childhood untreated for ADHD, and it really kind of affected my grades, especially in high school. And I didn't do well enough in high school to get into the Naval Academy, which would have gotten me into flight school, which would have gotten me to be a pilot, which is one of the requirements to be an astronaut for NASA. So, or at the time it was when the shuttle was still up. And so I kind of, my chances of that went away. So I ended up just being an avionics tech on F-14s. And I had fun. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, another foil puzzle, 500 pieces. That is the image. And another little sticker sheet. Like I said, I think there's a third one in this set. I can't remember. And if there is, I'm going to get it. Because I just think they're really nice puzzles. That's all of that for one pile. All right, pile number two. The first Ravensburger I ever bought. And it is still, is it open? It is not. I still have not even opened it. I went to Barnes & Noble and picked this one up. We got a Barnes & Noble here in town, so they got plenty of Ravensburgers. I'm actually seeing, is it Clementoni? They look like they have some nice puzzles too, but I don't know. I don't know enough about the brands to really know what's going on. But this is my first Ravensburger. This was one that was done at the USA Jigsaw Nationals. Fact, I think it was 2024. Yep, 2024 according to that corner down there. It is the Palm Beach Pets, or Pets of Palm Springs. Wow, lots of puzzle dust in that one. It's all in the box. Yes, those are nice. So that one there is going to be my main practice one for speed puzzling. And then this one was at Ollie's yesterday for $4.99. It's actually three 500-piece puzzles that make a mural, and Abraham Hunter is the artist. He's also a popular artist in the diamond painting community as well, with Diamond Art Club. They use a lot of his stuff for some of their diamond paintings. And this is really nice. It even comes with the big poster. It looks like there's a couple of others of his that they have there. It's Crazy Art is the name of the company. They have a YouTube channel. May have to go check that out. And they are tiny little pieces compared to the Ravensburger. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there it is. Compared to the Ravensburger, they are tiny little pieces. And they're ultra tiny compared to those Masterpiece and Gallisons and stuff like that. But yeah, it's got all three puzzles in separate bags. And then I'm only down to the end here. I have a hard time putting boxes back together. Aha! This one I'm actually looking forward to doing. So I will say, I found speed puzzling kind of by accident. I grew up. We had puzzles in the house growing up. We had the old Milton Bradley and Whitman Crown Guild and the regular Whitmans and stuff like that. And they were the old like landscapes and stuff like photograph landscapes and everything. So, we had like three or four of them in the house and constantly building them until pull them apart, pull out the next one, build it, put it apart. And we did that. I did that all through my childhood, and I never really thought a whole lot about puzzling again until just recently. Well, I did think about it about 5, 6 years ago, and I bought a puzzle, and that'd probably be the last one you see here. Is down there. That's the one I bought like 5 or 6 years ago at a thrift store, and thought this looks like it would be fun, and never actually got around to it. But um, week before last, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, something like that, I was watching the YouTube channel Zeducation. You know him? He's a meme reactor type guy, really funny. Um, he had asked all of his subscribers to please go check out a friend of his who is also a YouTuber. She lives in like Sweden or Norway or something. She's an American that lives over there, expatriate. And she had made a video saying that she was training to go to the World Championships jigsaw puzzle. And I thought, wait a minute, there's a competition for this? So I went and looked, and sure enough, I found the first video I found was Karen Puzzles videos of the her documentary series of the 2024 Worlds, and which was spectacular. It really told the story of what goes on. It really was a great introduction to what speed puzzling is, who some of the names are, and I was like, this looks like fun. So I started thinking about it and said, maybe I'll do this. And the more I thought about it, the more I determined that I was going to do it. And I said, okay, I'm gonna do this seriously. And then I watched the live streams of all of the rounds during the 2025 World Championships. I have joined the USJPA. I have joined the WJPF. Um, I've joined over at speedpuzzling.com, and I'm in several speed puzzling groups on Facebook, including the USJPA, and I think a couple others, and an Alabama speed puzzling group, which I'm still awaiting for them to approve my first post. Because I really do want to get in with some Alabama puzzlers. Maybe find a teammate for the U.S. Nationals if there is one, or find a local competition to get into. But when I saw Karen puzzles, and I saw that she had made her own, I was like, I have to get that because it's right up my alley. It's colors. I like a multitude of colors, and it just looks like a fun puzzle to put together. And so yeah, I got that one. Um, if you are a puzzling channel and you see that I have subscribed to you recently, I'm not stalking. I'm just subscribing to all the puzzle channels I can find. Um, trying to become a member of the community here. Um, so that's me. And some of you may have run across me in the live chats for the 2025 Worlds. I was in there to begin with. I was there under my other YouTube name, Diamond Paint with Diamond Dave. However, I want to say Friday, I created this channel. So that's where that came from. So this is a brand new channel. It's only 4 days old, 5 days old. All right. Next up is a 1,500 piece Enchanted Aurora. This one is by Buffalo. I bought it at Walmart. 1,500 pieces. So this is more of a casual puzzle, fun time puzzle. It was not in a bag, I don't think. Or if it was, no, it wasn't because the poster's still on the bottom. No, it was not in a bag. But it's a pretty picture. I really like that. It almost looks like the Iceland picture that they did in the Worlds this year. There it is. Enchanted Aurora, 1,500 pieces by Buffalo. Beautiful image. This one I actually started and had about halfway finished, but I didn't have my board here spread over two desks. It was only sitting on one, so it hung over on the front and the back. And my cat, Aria, well, my male cat chased my female and scared her, and she jumped up on top of the board, and when she did, she jumped where it was overhanging the desk. So her and all 1,500 puzzle pieces went flying. Luckily, it was kind of up against a wall, so everything went right there at the base of the walls. I was able to retrieve all of it. But I did have half of it done. I had all of the tents done, and the fire and the smoke. And I had the Pisces, the Aquarius, the Gemini, and the Taurus, the Crab, and I was working on the Scorpio when it got knocked over. And I had the pieces separated out for the for these two up in this corner. But yeah, it's actually it's very challenging puzzle with all of the way that pink is spread out across the the thing there, it's very challenging to know, especially in that area where the pink and the purple come together here and then here and here and then over and here. And all of these things, it is the repetition will have you sitting there staring at puzzle pieces all day before you find one that fits. This one here I picked up at Goodwill. It is the vintage puzzle. It says National Parks Vintage Puzzle 1,000 pieces, and it's by Cavallini and Company. It's a really, really nice looking puzzle. Comes in this nice case. And the parts are in a bag. And there is the cool little poster. I'm a fan of the national parks. I'm also a backpacker. I was actually supposed to hike the entire Appalachian Trail in 2022. I had the money set aside to do it. It was going to take me 6 months, and I was going to start out in Georgia, hike all the way to Maine over that 6 month period. I had it all planned out. I even had the hotel room at Amicalola Falls in Georgia reserved and paid for, but I ended up having to get a refund on it because I wasn't able to go. Just ran into some financial difficulties, and the money that I had set aside for making the hike had to go towards more important priority things, which I still intend to do. That's my bucket list. I do want to hike the Appalachian Trail again at some point. But I do go to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park quite a bit, and I'm currently working on joining the 900 Club, which is somebody who has hiked all 900 documented trails in the park. But yeah, that one looks like it's going to be fun. I kind of like that one. And they look like quality puzzle pieces. These three here are kind of interesting. This one here is only a 100-piece puzzle, I think. Yeah, it's 100 pieces. It just says it's the Impossible Puzzle. And that means it's supposed to be impossible. It has never been opened. Like, it's still in the original packaging. So I guess somebody didn't think too highly of it. And it is exactly what it looks like. It is just unicorns, donuts, and ice cream cones. I don't think it's impossible, but it does look interesting. Look like a challenge, so I figured I would try it. And because it was take two, this one together, like that, for $1.99, I think, at America's thrift stores. Yeah. So yeah, it was cheap, and so I picked that one up. This is a little 500-piece puzzle from Puzzle Bug. Never heard of them, but it is a 500-piece landscape of, looks like Mount Rainier. I don't know. Is there anything on there that says? Images by Corbis. The company is a Canadian company. They're from, well, they're also from Chesapeake, Virginia. It's the Greenbrier International. It's imported by, oh, no, no, no. It's imported through a company out of Chesapeake, Virginia, but it was made in Canada in BC, so it could actually be a Canadian mountain. But it is really pretty. Very challenging looking. And it is 500 pieces in there. They're kind of little small pieces in a little small box. So I hope they're all there, because that is a beautiful puzzle. And then the last one is the National Mall and Memorial Parks around DC panoramic puzzle, 12 by 36 inches, 500 pieces. It says over 500 pieces. And it is made by Impact Photographics, another company I've never heard of. I would imagine it's just a souvenir puzzle that you buy in DC at a gift shop or something. I'm sure a souvenir shop. But it's still in its original package. But the reference poster that came with it is no longer there. So kind of just have to go by what's on the front cover of the box, which is the Washington Monument, the Jefferson Memorial, the Lincoln Memorial, um, the World War II Memorial, um, the it's hard to read. I don't have my glasses on. Looks like a Franklin D. Roosevelt Memorial, then an overhead view of the mall, the National Mall, and then a picture of the White House or the Capitol, the Lincoln Memorial, and the uh, Washington Monument, and then a close up of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial there at the bottom. So it ought to be interesting to build. And then my last one, which I found out what was written on the side was a lie. It said never open, $5.97. I bought this in a thrift store in North Dakota right before I moved to Alabama in 2020. Thought it'd be kind of fun to do during lockdown to do a puzzle and never got around to it because this thing takes up a giant space and I don't have a giant space to build it in. It's 5,000 pieces. You can see what it is. It's like a Swiss chalet. Can't remember what it said on the box was the name of it, but yeah, it's a Swiss chalet. It's Wetterhorn, Grindelwald, Switzerland, and it is 5,000 pieces. It did say never open, $5.97. However, the plastic bag was laying on the top like this. Underneath of that plastic bag was sections about 8 by 10 that were done and in between sheets of paper, but there was still a ton of pieces that had not yet been assembled. And they're nice little pieces. It's a FX Schmid. And they are nice little pieces. Very, very nice, thick, hard pieces. And they sound like glass. Like when I love the sound of puzzle pieces. They got that like tinkle sound. Kind of neat. But yeah. But yeah, I guess 2,500 of the pieces are still in the original bag. But the other ones it was like they almost assembled half of the other half in little 8 by 10 size sections and had them sandwiched in between pieces of graph paper, 8 by 10 graph paper that they had picked up from their work or whatever. I threw the paper away. I just disassembled all of it and put it back in the box. And, but yeah, that is my last one of my stash. That's all I have right now. So drop me a comment. Let me know which one you'd like to see me work on. Which one you think, if you are a speed puzzler, let me know which one you think of all of the 500 pieces that you think would be the best one for me to just start with and give myself an honest test of what I need to work on and what I don't. That'd be really helpful coming from somebody who already speed puzzles. So, all right. I will put all these away. I'll be looking forward to comments. And I will take whatever suggestions y'all do. And I will start running with them. All right. So, hope to catch you soon. Tell a friend. If you have puzzle friends, send them my way. Tell them to come check me out. I'll only get better at this. I mean, I'm so used to doing diamond painting videos, and changing back over to puzzle videos is going to be really tough. So, until I see y'all again, rock on, roll tide.